Hey everybody, welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Michael Noland. You know, we've talked about U2's upcoming residency at the MSG Sphere in Las Vegas, Nevada. And guess what? Last night, the MSG Sphere did not disappoint the residents of Las Vegas. They put on quite a show. Not only just for them, though, they put it out for the world to see because it was put out live and online. And you know what? I've got to admit, I was impressed by the visuals. And the MSG Sphere is also promising an even better sound system that has ever existed for a live act to perform with. And if last night was any indication, I have no doubt that you will get premium sound at this venue. And yet, why am I still a bit unconvinced? Maybe it's because I remember the old bard's saying, beware of MSGs that bear gifts. All right, folks, so like I said before, I was impressed with the visuals. It is a wonder, but you know, the longer I viewed the MSG's outer shell show, another image came to mind. One that projected an image that was not really there, and the words, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain," started to nag in my brain. Now, we've talked about the importance of gaming these days as an entertainment source. We've also talked about what goes in to creating the music behind a game. But you know, the more that researchers look into the whole gaming aspect, they have come to the conclusion that the music, even though it's dynamic, is only a background, a mood setter for you to feel like you're, well, virtually in a film. And with the MSG's inner shell capable of doing exactly what we saw on the outside, I start feeling like I've wound up in the land of Oz. A jumbotron in the middle of the desert, programmed to draw flies. Now, I know some of you are thinking, oh, good Lord, it's not all that, Michael. And the venue has a lot to promise. And you know what? I agree with you. It does have a lot to promise. You see, I'm all for great visuals, great light shows. I love that whole experience. But when they get to the point that they become the main star, because I can guarantee you when U2 shows up and it's got its massive crowd in that thing, this is a major venue, folks, and all of that wall is talking to you, the concert goer. How many eyes are looking at the actual group? And for that matter, how many ears are truly listening to the music that made you fall in love with this group? You guys know I am a fan of the band, less so of the mouth that roared in the band, Bono, but I love U2 as artists. But remember what I've said in past videos, before you ever see that band on stage at whatever venue, there have been 2 to 3, perhaps even 4 years of pre-planning. So what has been happening up to this magnificent show that's about to happen before our eyes? Well, we got Bono writing a book and then Bono touring with that book. He called it a book tour, but it was really something in between a book tour and a damn circus. And right after that, we got Songs of Surrender by the band U2, and all of it was stuff we had heard before. It was just very lazily put together. Their drummer, Larry Mullins Jr., isn't really on the album. He is, but they had to use drum tracks from the past, cut them up, splice them up, put this bit over here, and you've got new drum patterns. That is Larry Mullins Jr. on that album. And the bass provided on that album was just some snippets that Adam came in and played, and he left it up to the Edge to do the same thing with those snippets that he had done for Larry. So this is starting to look like an Edge solo project, especially when Bono comes in at the last minute to lay down his vocals. This isn't a group effort, folks. And yet, Bono managed to connect his book with his book tour and that album, and it led right up to here. And guess what? That's the exact kind of time period you need to pre-book any venue. All of this has been as planned as the visuals that you see programmed on that damn Jumbotron they call the MSG Sphere. Now, some of you may be thinking to yourselves, well, at least we're getting a great set of shows by the band U2. My only question is, are we really? Because guess what? Once again, Larry ain't gonna be there. Now, why does that bother me? Well, I'm gonna tell you, in my head anyway, there are two kinds of rock bands in classic rock, if you ask me. First of all, you have bands like Yes, who trade members like collecting baseball cards and trading those back and forth. And yet you have other bands. For example, if you went to go see Paul McCartney, John Lennon, and George Harrison at some time in the past, imagine them doing, say, a benefit concert. Would you have gone home and told your friends that you had gone to see the Beatles? And if you did, and they further questioned you, and they found out that Ringo wasn't at the show, they'd laugh in your face. Same thing goes with Led Zeppelin. No Bonzo, no Zepp, people. And how about the Police? The same thing goes for those bands. You see, there are some bands that are just synonymous with the individual members in that band. We called the Beatles the Fab Four. Well, guess what? No Larry Mullins Jr., no freaking U2. So you're not seeing U2, especially when the whole damn show is based on the album Achtung Baby, an album known for its excellent drumming, and Larry Mullen had the most input he ever had on any album by U2, and that's what they choose to put before our eyes? Just like the Wizard of Oz. There was no wizard up there to begin with, and guess what? There ain't no YouTube up there at all. And let's get back to the man behind the curtain, all right? Don't forget what MSG stands for. Madison Square Garden Entertainment. And who has come out of that? Of course, John Sykes, minion to Jan Winter, former editor of Rolling Stone magazine and former head honcho of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, John Sykes being his chosen heir. And what has John Sykes been up to in his life? Well, of course, we've talked about him being connected to VH1, MTV, and yada, yada, yada. He's a real mover, folks. And of course, Bono having the connection of being best buddies with Jan Winter, all right? Anybody starting to smell smoke here? We're getting a performance of an album known for its drumming without the drummer. We're getting a group with no new material yet again. We're getting tons of visual on the outside and the inside, and evidently a ton of ear candy. With U2 already not being what they are, who else will show up at this thing? And what else will we lose as an audience? As longtime viewers already know, I'm a fan of technology. I've tried to keep up with it, and I have tried to embrace it fully, not only in my own songwriting, but in my recordings as well. And I love forward movement, especially forward movement sonically. And the Sphere does have that amazing sound system, so that's still kind of enticing to me. But visuals can disrupt the listening experience. And I think that a lot of people who pay to go to these type of shows, you know, where the wristbands are all part of the light show and all of that, it's not the music that's first. And the music is always first with me when I go to live entertainment. And the more live and the more raw, the better I like it, as long as it's played well. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video tonight. If you did, give it a thumbs up, you know, channel growth and all of that. And if you haven't subscribed, just hit that subscribe to the tribe button and then hit that top bell icon and you'll be notified of all my future videos. All right, folks, I'm Michael Noland, and together, you and I, we do have a voice. We are the tribe. I'll see you in my next video.